Hey guys, Sage Valentine here, and this is my review of NBC Celebrity Apprentice, episodes 9 and 10. No guys, this is not the toxic trick episode. I guess that's coming soon. But at least I know who Vivica was talking about. Kenya. Yeah, because tonight there was a switch. But let me get to this review, and I promise I won't keep you guys too long, because outside of my window is Snowmageddon 2015. Woo. That nearly made me miss the second half of The Apprentice, by the way, because all the lovely people on Channel 4, NBC, for those of you who are not on the East Coast, decided to cut in on the commercial and came in a little bit late for episode 10. I was like, if I miss this, I'm going to be so upset. But anyways, let's get to it. So episode 9, the project was to do some type of like entertaining cruise for the Circle Line. And they have to keep in mind that the central theme is New York and it has to be family friendly. Well, Team Vortex, Sig Hanson steps up to the plate. And of course, Geraldo Rivera has to be the first one throwing out ideas, which he's the last person they should be listening to because they listened to him for chock full of nuts and they lost. However, Sig Hanson's like, listen, just let him speak. And Geraldo comes up with this whole Revolutionary War type thing and 9/11 firefighters and all this other stuff. And both Vivica and Kate side-eye it. So then Sig comes up with this idea with Geraldo called the sexiest catch, and he wants to bring the Hooters girls and involve them on this, which Vivica and Kate again side-eye it, but I guess they took so long with the first idea, let's just do this idea, so they decide to do it. Meanwhile, on Team Infinity, Brandy is at the helm. She wants to do this really entertaining cruise type thing. Lisa Gibbons comes up because she says that she was like the partier. She knows how to throw a good party. She can do this. Lisa Gibbons comes up with this whole Manhattan Mardi Gras thing is fine, but the centralized theme of this Circle Line thingy is Manhattan. So, to make a long story short, Brandy decides not to do that theme and wants to do this whole Big Apple bonanza thing, which in the end turns out to be pretty awesome. But even before they can start, already Brandy is worried about Ian and Kenya sabotaging him, which really, it doesn't matter and it shouldn't matter so long as you guys do an awesome job. Then you don't have to worry about anybody throwing you under the bus. So when they get down to it and they have their cruises, Sig Hanson has some type of like conniption because the stress was getting to him, which I didn't see how he was stressed out because everybody seemed to be doing what they were supposed to do, but he kind of acted out a little bit in front of these two young bartender guys who took it very well and very professional guys. So you get to the cruise itself and everything's going fine, and someone thought it was a good idea to have Geraldo, as the MC, and Geraldo was doing fine until he started talking about terrorists and immigrants, and I said, oh boy, here we go. And then we get to Team Infinity, and their cruise seemed to be going well until Kenya did a performance of her song Gone with the Wind Fabulous, which was actually number 33 when it came out on iTunes. I think she mentioned that on Real Housewives of Atlanta this week when I watched it. She was doing fine and then fell on the floor, started gyrating. A lot of people didn't like that. Just like a lot of people on Team Vortex didn't like the women, didn't like the Hooters girls thing. They felt a little bit uncomfortable. So once they got back to the boardroom, everything essentially fell upon Sig Hanson because Brandy's group, they won because it was the lesser of two evils between Kenya's performance and Geraldo's views and the Hooters girls, which did little, as I said, for the women. I think they obviously should have had, like, the guys from Buns or some sexy guys dressed up, and they should have come and served the girls or something, and it would have been like a equal opportunity type thing. So it fell upon Sig, and even though it was Geraldo's fault because Geraldo was running his mouth and Geraldo was just being extra, as they say, Sig was basically fired because Donald Trump gave the impression that because this was something on a boat, if they lost, then he was going to fire Sig, and he did just that. And to me personally, I feel like Geraldo Rivera sabotaged the group, but then he sabotages the group twice. I'm going to tell you of another instance he did it, but this one I really think he did, even though he was very knowledgeable about everything that he knew regarding New York as the MC, but the things that he said didn't sit well with people. So we get to episode 9, and another monkey wrench is thrown, i.e. Donald Trump, because Kenya is taken from Team Infinity and sent right over to Team Vortex. Well, all of a sudden, Donald Trump comes up with this concept, whereas the group has to promote the Donald Trump, or the Trump Resort and Golf Course thingy in Westchester, New York. So that's something pretty cool. It's not too hard in my opinion. It's this 5-star resort, but the hotel is the main focus. So Kate steps up as the project manager for Infinity, and Ian steps up for the project manager for Vortex. So Kate starts delegating the jobs, and Kate basically sends Vivica and Kenya out to go find the props. Meanwhile, she's coming up with the concept, to Kenya's dismay, because Kenya feels like she's more high class and she was more exposed to what the upper echelon is used to seeing, in other words. But what happens on this is that they end up running late because Vivica realizes, like, listen, if we don't get all this stuff, Kate's going to be coming after me. Let me go get the stuff, so they ran late. But what Vivica didn't know was that Kenya was texting the crap out of Kate, telling her, you know what, this is all Vivica's fault why we're running late. I didn't want to go late, blah, 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 blah. And she's basically trying to throw Vivica under the bus. So when you get to Ian's group, Ian, to me, love him dearly, but Ian is something else. He's a force to be reckoned with. And it's kind of like, if it's not his way or the highway, which I understand. But the group is not getting that. So he has this great idea. The problem is the group can't truly understand. It's like he's seeing it, but he's having trouble like conveying it to the group. But he's got the concept in head. He's got it. And this situation is kind of turning into what happened during Chock full of Nuts when he was the director. He can't take constructive criticism of any kind. So when they get down to the presentations, Ian messes up because he's supposed to know the square footage of the grand ballroom or something, and Brandy pretty much knows because she stayed up all night and she studied everything, so she knew. And she told Don Jr. and the COO and Eric. So then we get back to Kate's team, and rather than just sit back and relax, Kate decides to try to throw Kenya and Vivica under the bus to Don Jr. and Eric, which I didn't think was a good idea. Like, she could have waited until, you know, they made it into the boardroom. But anyway, Kate ended up getting fired. And the reason why Kate got fired is because, as I've been saying in all of these reviews, Donald Trump remembers. Donald Trump does not forget. If he doesn't get you at the time when you did something wrong, he comes back and he gets you later. Will he get Vivica at some point? I'm not even sure, because this is a crazy season. I really hope not. But he is coming for Kenya, I can tell you that. And he threw her into Kate's, or threw her towards Kate and Vivica and Geraldo on purpose. So I guess that's where the toxic trick thing comes up next week, hopefully. But I was actually watching this, and my mom brought up a good point as I end this video. She was talking about how Lisa Gibbons was saying, I think while, you know, Kate's team was in the boardroom, that Geraldo puts his fingerprints in everything, but he never seems to get dirty. So until next time, thanks guys for watching this. Don't forget to rate this video, comment, and subscribe to my brand of crazy, and pass this video along. And check out Twitter and Google+, sagevalentine, and also check out my other reviews. I've got a Sleepy Hollow review coming. and some other news coming pretty soon. So until next time, love you all. Bye, guys. Bye.